Rishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye. Vanchakalpatarubyascha. I'm so sorry, Prabhu. There was just a slight disturbance. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhyev cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha. नमो विष्णुपदाय कृष्णपृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामने नमस्ते सारस्वते देवे गौरवाणी प्रसारणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे.
So Hare Krishna, thank you very much for coming online.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu, for the session.
Nice to be again with all of you.
Thank you, Prabhu, for again giving us another session. It's very, very nice. So if anyone has any sort of questions, comments, or any sort of maybe realizations on what you have read, what you have experienced during service, maybe you can share or ask, or otherwise you can just hear others do the same. So I thank you all for coming for this Q&A session. Hare Krishna.
Prabhu, I would like to ask a question, Prabhu. So if I may, can I ask a question right now?
Yes.
Prabhu, how to understand or rather realize the uselessness of material life? Because like we've heard, for those who like listen to classes, we've heard the prayers of Prahlad Maharaj and also Rishabdev instructing his sons, and then the fifth canto and so on. But to practically how to get this into realization and actually understand this firmly, so that the mind is not so distracted by material allurements and can be actually focused on serving the devotees and serving Prabhupada. Like how to practically like realize this, how can that be achieved?
Very good question. So this whole thing has got a process, and the process it begins by first surrendering to the spiritual master. What happened?
I think someone has to start the recording again actually.
No,
The
Prabhu.
live streaming is still going on.
Yeah, we have live stream, so it's not needed.
Okay, yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
So the main thing is that you have to first, go through the process. And the process means that one should first, as I've explained many times, accepting the shelter of the lotus feet of the spiritual master. Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
So this is a very important point, Once you make that connection with the spiritual master, then spiritual master's mercy, then devotional service begins.
Yes, Prabhu.
Without this very key point of surrender, spiritual life cannot happen.
Yes, Prabhu.
Going. And of course, you may have accepted in your heart and everything, Prabhupada, but main thing is to make the commitment, no? Yes?
Yes, Prabhu.
once you do that, then becomes a different level. Then you see your spiritual life becomes more steady, you know.
Yes, sure.
Mm. Otherwise, it's difficult. Yeah.
Yes, sure.
So to make that commitment is the most important thing. Um,
Yes, sure.
you understand?
Yes, sure.
Otherwise, you cannot practice spiritual life your way. It doesn't work, no. Because you're not really having that connection yet, therefore it's frustrating sometimes. It's like you are on a roller
Yes,
coaster,
sure.
sometime going up and sometime going down, and so much up and down, no?
Yes, sure. Exactly. Actually, I always feel like unpredictable sometimes. I would say sometimes.
So to help you in this situation, commitment is important. Surrendering to the spiritual master, completely, that's very much required. Although initiation looks like a formality, but it's really required. Then you see many things unfold. Otherwise, it's very difficult. So the devotee, the first thing he has to do is to pray, to Krishna, that please give me the shelter of the lotus feet of my spiritual master. And Krishna
Yes,
is enough.
sure.
He can fulfill all desires, no?
Yes,
Yes.
sure. Yes,
So
sure. Yes.
that you are surrendering totally, then he will help you. And once you're connected, then takes a different ball game altogether. Then Krishna and spiritual master, they are obligated to help you if you are sincerely surrendering to their instruction. Yes.
Yes, bro. Right. Yes, bro.
So this is how it's explained, no? Obeying the order of the spiritual master with faith and devotion, following the footsteps of great acharyas under the direction of the spiritual master. So this is the point that makes the big distinction between a devotee and a non-devotee. Many non-devotees, they don't surrender to a guru, no?
Yes, bro.
Mm. Understand? Mm.
Yes,
Yes.
bro. Yes, bro.
So you try, if you can do that, you will see many things will fall in place. Mm.
Yes, bro. Sure, Prabhu.
But if you don't, uh,
Yes, bro.
so you try to work your way towards this,
Yes,
then,
bro.
and yes, automatically you will become more fixed up, no?
Yes, bro. Right. Yes, bro.
But if you don't do this and you try to do things, then it's going to be like this, going up, going down, going. Hmm?
Yes, bro. Right. Yes, bro.
You understand?
Yes, bro.
So you try to take more, pray more to Krishna and ask if you can take shelter of Prabhupada.
Yes, bro. I will do that, bro.
Hmm. So this next question about Omkara.
Thank you so much, Prabhu.
You want to read this, whoever asked the question?
Yes, yes, Prabhu. Purport. It is clearly stated here that Om, Brahman, and Lord Krishna are not different. The impersonal sound of Krishna is Om, but the sound Hare Krishna contains Om. The chanting of the Hare Krishna mantra is clearly recommended for this age. So if one quits his body at the end of life chanting the Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, he certainly reaches one of the spiritual planets. Old practice. The devotees of Krishna enter the Krishna planet.
What happened to him? Huh? Hmm? So there's a difference. Those who chant Om, they go to the Brahma Jyoti. And those who chant Hare Krishna go to the Goluka Vrindavan. Hello, you are there? Hmm?
I think he has some network issue. He just left a minute ago.
Okay, for him, if he comes back. Yeah, during Chaitanya Mahaprabhu time, the whole universe got delivered. He was going all over the world chanting. He went all over South India. He went all over. In fact, great devotees from all the planets were coming to visit Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So, when the Lord comes, definitely, how much more potent the preaching will be. Of course, Prabhupada is a representative of the Lord. But because we are not there at that time, we are now here. We can only see at this time. But the preaching is very, very important. So many people
Sorry,
got.
Prabhu. Sorry, Prabhu, I had network problems.
So those who chant Omkara go to Brahma Jyoti, the Brahman effulgence. Those who chant Hare Krishna, they go back to Goloka Vrindavan. Okay, is it clear?
Yes, yes, Prabhu.
So the Lord, He's so powerful. He went to the forest of Jarikan and delivered also all the animals. Not only human beings, animals also got delivered. How potent his preaching was. Yes?
Yes, yes, Prabhu.
Any other questions? I can't see some questions. You can always ask also.
Prabhu, so if someone who's a devotee commits an offense, so I read somewhere from Srila Prabhupada's purports, I don't remember exactly where, it stated that if somebody commits an offense onto Vaishnava, like an Vaishnava Aparadh, then all his previous devotional credit is also spoiled. So I was just wondering that, like, suppose, for example, a devotee commits Vaishnava Aparadh, then definitely he must pay the consequence for his Aparadh. But then after that, will he get a chance to start from where he left off devotionally, or whatever. Yes, bro.
You see, when he commit offense, then his devotional creeper gets shunted, But when he rectify himself, then again it grows, You understand? Not that
Yes,
it,
bro.
but if you don't rectify, then you're going to dry up, You understand? Hmm?
Yes, bro.
Committing offense is not very good, no?
Yes, bro.
I think this is the number 156. Yeah. So here you can read.
Yes, bro. Translation: if the devotee commits an offense at the feet of a Vaishnava while cultivating the creeper of devotional service in the material world, his offense is compared to a mad elephant that uproots the creeper and breaks it. In this way, the leaves of the creeper are dried up.
Purport.
Purport: one's devotional attitude increases in the association of a Vaishnava. By his personal example, Narottam Das Thakur stresses that a devotee must always remember to please his predecessor Acharya. The Goswamis are represented by one spiritual master. One cannot be an Acharya, spiritual master, without following strictly in the disciplic succession of the Acharyas. One who is actually serious about advancing in devotional service should desire only to satisfy the previous Acharyas. One should always think of oneself as a servant of the Acharyas. And thinking this, one should live in the society of Vaishnavas. CC Madhya 13.80. However, if one thinks that he has become very mature and can live separately from the association of Vaishnavas and thus gives up all the regulative principles due to offending a Vaishnava, one's position becomes very dangerous. Offenses against the holy name are explained in Adi Lila, 8th chapter, verse 24. Giving up the regulative principles and living according to one's whims is compared to a mad elephant, which by force uproots the Bhakti Lata and breaks it into pieces. In this way, the Bhakti Lata shrivels up. Such an offense is especially created when one disobeys the instructions of the spiritual master. This is called Guru Avagnya. The devotee must therefore be very careful not to commit offenses against the spiritual master by disobeying his instructions. As soon as one is deviated from the instructions of the spiritual master, the uprooting of the Bhakti Lata begins, and gradually all the leaves dry up.
So when you rectify yourself, then the whole thing again starts growing, Hmm?
Yes, Prabhu.
Hmm.
If actually, for example, a devotee commits Vaishnava Aparadh, but then due to his misfortune, he does not because sometimes it so happens, right? Like some devotees, they committed offense against various other devotees and left the association, and they
Hmm.
haven't asked forgiveness in this life. They haven't apologized for their behavior and requested, forgiveness. So
Hmm.
then definitely they have to suffer for the reaction. But after that, is their devotional credit still intact? That after suffering the result of the offenses, will he still start from the same place, or the whole thing is completely shattered and he has to start from scratch? How is it?
When he rectify himself, then again this devotional creeper will grow again. Just like the story of this king this sage Saubari, he offended, and as a result he came out and married some 50 queens or something, right?
Yes,
You know,
so
you know the story, right?
no, Prabhu, I am not aware, Prabhu.
Huh? You're not aware of the Saubari Muni story?
No, Prabhu, I believe I've heard it, but I don't recall it clearly.
Maybe we can read. Anyone knows what chapter? Anyone knows the story of the Saubari Muni? Hmm?
No, Prabhu.
Huh? What canto is it? Hmm? Okay, let's go and read it. So this Saubari Mani story is, I think, in the 9th canto, I think. The 6th chapter, I think. Hmm?
Bro, it's in 9, 6, 39, 40, bro.
39, 40, huh?
Yeah.
You join at what?
So here 47, let's go to the 39, and we can read it. Then you understand how he fell down and how he eventually realized, okay, I think we've gone a bit too much. So someone wants to read this thing? All right. Someone want to read?
Can I, Prabhu?
Please read.
Saubhari Rishi was engaged in austerity deep in the water of the river Yamuna when he saw a pair of fish engaged in sexual affairs. Thus he perceived the pleasure of sex life, and induced by this desire he went to King Mandada and begged for one of the king's daughters. In response to this request, the king said, "O Brahmana, any of my daughters may accept any husband according to her personal selection." Saubhari Muni thought, "I am now feeble because of old age. My hair has become grey, my skin is slack, and my head always trembles. Besides, I am a yogi. Therefore, women do not like me. Since the king has thus rejected me, I shall reform my body in such a way as to be desirable even to celestial women. What to speak of the daughters of worldly kings?" Thereafter, when Saubhari Muni became quite a young and beautiful person, the messenger of the palace took him inside the residential quarters of the princesses, which were extremely opulent. All 50 princesses were then accepted him as their husband, although he was only one man. Thereafter, the princesses, being attracted by Saubhari Muni, gave up their sisterly relationship and quarreled among themselves, each one of them contending, "This man is just suitable for me and not for you." In this way, there ensued a great disagreement. Because Saubhari Muni was expert in chanting mantras perfectly, his severe austerities resulted in an opulent home with garments, ornaments, properly dressed and decorated maidservants and manservants, and varieties of parks with clear water, lakes, and gardens. In the gardens, fragrant with varieties of flowers, birds chirped and bees hummed, surrounded by professional singers. Saubhari Muni's home was amply provided with valuable birds, seeds, ornaments, and arrangements for bathing, and there were varieties of sandalwood creams, flower garlands, and palatable dishes. Thus, surrounded by opulent paraphernalia, the Muni engaged in family affairs with his numerous wives. Mandada, the king of the entire world, consisting of 7 islands, was struck with wonder when he saw the household opulence of Saubhari Muni. Thus, he gave up his false prestige in his position as emperor of the world. In this way, Saubhari Muni enjoyed sense gratification in the material world, but he was not at all satisfied, just as a fire never ceases blazing if constantly supplied with drops of fat. Thereafter, one day while Saubhari Muni, who was expert in chanting mantras, was sitting in a secluded place, he thought to himself about the cause of his fall down, which was simply that he had associated himself with the sexual affairs of the fish.
Purport.
Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakura remarks that Saubhari Muni had fallen from his austerity because of a Vaishnava aparadha. The history is that when Garuda wanted to eat fish, Saubhari Muni unnecessarily gave the fish shelter under his care. Because Garuda's plans for eating were disappointed, Saubhari Muni certainly committed a great offense to a Vaishnava. Because of this Vaishnava Abhrada, an offense at the lotus feet of a Vaishnava, Saubhari Muni fell from his exalted position of mystic tapasya. One should not therefore impede the activities of a Vaishnava. This is the lesson we must learn from this incident concerning Saubhari Muni. Alas, while practicing austerity even within the depths of the water, and while observing all the rules and regulations practiced by saintly persons, I lost the results of my long austerity simply by association with the sexual affairs of fish. Everyone should observe this fall down and learn from it. A person desiring liberation from material bondage must give up the association of persons interested in sex life and should not employ his senses externally in seeing, hearing, talking, barking, and so on. One should always stay in a secluded place, completely fixing his